the government gave more benefits to billionaires than it does to poor blacks. Now, right there, we agree there. Oh, absolutely. In fact, I would forward the idea that the government is a tool of the wealthy, and that's mostly what every government is. So there's that. So are we agreed that the government is a tool of the wealthy?
Yes.
All right, fair enough. All right, so we're on the same page there. So carrying on to the next point, the gentleman writes, most people on SNAP truly need it. So that's not even the whole sentence, but that's the first piece, which I actually disagree with that. And so I think we have a fundamental disagreement there. Tell me more about when you say most people on SNAP truly need it.
Well, when you talk about most people that are on SNAP, they're truly elderly. They are incapacitated, injured. They have injuries where they can't work. There are some people who just are highly uneducated and don't have the resources to actually work where they can make a livable wage. And those are realities, right? And what happens is I come from a family like that, right? My mother wasn't able to make a wage that was able to sustain 2 children. And when she started out on welfare, she started out on SNAP, on welfare, with getting benefits, was going to school at the same time, right? She was utilizing the system like most other ethnicities do. When we talk about, SNAP, we only represent 25% of the people that are on.
Yeah, we only represent 25% of the people. We have a small number. So if you're representing, if you're representing 25% of the people, that's an issue. But here's the thing. The guy's just a consummate excuse maker. Oh, there's people who can't provide for themselves. They can't earn a livable wage and all this nonsense. Bro, you have immigrants coming to this country who don't even speak English at all. Never been here, don't know north, south, east, west. And they're able to find jobs and sustain. Hey, you might need to have a roommate for a couple of years, but you can learn, go to night school, a lot of things. This guy, my son, is a person who's like apologist for Black failure and lack of effort. My mother, she couldn't find a job to support us. No, your mom didn't want a job, my son. And as someone who lived through that, you should be able to understand like the detrimental nature of having people who just become comfortable living on welfare. Where's my son's mother now? That's what I would like to know. Everybody can move up in America, man. Everyone can move up in America if they got some sense. But what we see is what we've always seen in the hood. Generational welfare. People who look at their ability to exploit the welfare system as some type of gift or talent, who are like, hey, if I don't have to work and I can survive without working, that's what I'm going to do. You know how many people just stay on welfare because they don't have to work? They're poor as hell. They'll have a windfall every now and then, but overall they're going to be poor. But they're okay with that because they rather be broke and poor than go work a job. Those are the people my son is defending. He's bringing up the elderly and stuff. He knows that's not who we're talking about. We're talking about the able-bodied men and women who get up and proudly walk over to the county office every day, once a month, twice a month, to go get their cut of our hard-earned taxpayer dollars when they could be walking their ass to a job. But this is what it's about. This is what socialism is. My son is a socialist. Everybody should get free stuff at the expense of someone else.
SNAP for Black people. So when we're having these conversations, I know a lot of people that I know who are successful, who parents were on welfare, right? And it motivated them to never want to be on welfare. And their parents didn't say, hey, this is a tool that you utilize, that you're supposed to be on welfare. I'm on welfare right now because I don't have the resources. I didn't get the education. I didn't have all of the access to wealth that someone else had, but I'm giving you the resources. And right now, this is what put foods on your table. So when you go to school, I need you to study harder so that you don't have to be in this position. So I think for me, when you say that it ruined the black community, I say,
yeah, so this guy's an idiot, as we all know. He's saying that a parent being on welfare is somehow going to empower their kid not to be on welfare. So your lazy parent who never gave a damn to get up, get off their butt and go, find a way to put food on the table and improve your life, that person is somehow going to show you how getting free handouts from the government is supposed to motivate you to want to go to work. Why do you think there's a such thing as generational welfare? Because people usually imitate what their parents do. That's literally the definition. That is the textbook example of do as I say, not as I do. I sat on my ass all day and didn't do shit and lived off the government, but you don't do that. You go to Harvard and get a doctorate. Well, if they don't got the resources to pay the rent, I highly doubt they have the resources to send their kid to a 4-year college. This is a nonsensical argument from a ridiculous position, from the perspective of a bum criminal robber who spent many years of his life in prison because he was too lazy to work for what he wanted and he wanted to steal. My son is nothing more than a thief and a coward. And that is the perfect landing place. Socialism and communism is the perfect landing place for thieves and cowards because it's stealing, it's theft by another name. So it makes sense that he's a prime candidate to be in this position. And guess what? Because Zohran Mamdani is also a thief and a coward, he saw fit to bring my son along with him as a appointed official within the framework of his administration.
Instead of trying to say, don't.
Within the framework of his administration. So let's play this little clip. All right, here. Yeah, this is it.
NYC's new mayor just appointed a convicted armed robber to his public safety team, and the city is erupting. Is this bold reform or a dangerous mistake? New York City is in the middle of a political firestorm, all because Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani just made one of the most controversial appointments in recent memory. He's tapped Mysonne, a former rapper and a man convicted of armed robbery in the late 1990s, to serve on his Committee on the Criminal Legal System, a key part of his public safety transition team. Lennon served years in prison for robbing taxi drivers, but since then, he's built a reputation as an activist and co-founder of the justice group Until Freedom. NYC's new mayor just appointed a convicted armed robber to his public safety team.
Okay, so you see that. Guy's a convicted armed robber, robbed 2 taxi drivers. My boy JC is giving us some juice on it. Pause. My son spent time in prison for robbing 2 taxi drivers. He's still saying he didn't do it. Right. I read that this morning. Just an unaccountable thief, a degenerate, a thug. But listen, if you're going to steal, who better to have around you than other thieves? If you're going to steal, who better to have in your presence than other thieves? People who you know ain't going to snitch, ain't going to call you out. Now, this guy is sitting up collecting your taxpayer dollars, right?
And the city is...
He's collecting your taxpayer dollars, and he's paid his debt to society, but he still hasn't taken any accountability. You think my son is going to come up with a good plan to help the people of New York? No, he's not. No, he's not. His mind says, hey, rich people got it, we don't. Let's take it from them, and we can have all the money we want. He's a thief. You got to be a special kind of individual to go rob people who've been working hard for their money. And let me tell you what's funny. These guys have so much smoke for the rich, but when they commit their crimes, do they go rob the rich? My son, if you ever see this, which you probably won't, when you went to go rob those hardworking, lower middle class taxi cab drivers, you do know you could have went over to a rich neighborhood. You could have went to Manhattan, the East Side, And you could have went up in those high-rise buildings and got a bunch of multimillionaires and billionaires. Did he go to them? No. It's always the same story with these socialists and these communists. They come in telling you that they're going to take from the rich and give to the poor. But when it's all said and done, they get bribed by the rich and end up taking from the poor. I'm going to get the rich people money to put in my bank account in exchange for me taking the poor people's money to provide the services that I lied and said that I was going to give them. That is exactly what's going on in Chicago. Brandon Johnson said, well, the rich and the wealthy are going to pay their fair share. Well, when he got elected, the rich and the wealthy left. And it wasn't the rich and the wealthy, but the black homeowners, the poor, the barely out of poverty black homeowners who experienced an over 100% increase in their property taxes to pay for all that bull crap that Brandon Johnson was promising. It's always the same. It's always the same. But everybody wants socialism. It's going to be free. Be careful what you wish for. You might get it. And they're getting it. And they're struggling.